Not every footballer's story begins in poverty. We're used to hearing about players who fought through hunger and hardship just to reach the pitch. But what if I told you that some of the biggest names in football were already born into privilege? These are the stars who had everything from the start, yet still chose the hard road of professional football. And their stories are just as surprising as the legends who came from nothing. Ricardo Kaka, one of Brazil's brightest stars, didn't grow up in the favelas like so many of his teammates. Instead, he was raised in a comfortable suburb of São Paulo. His father was an engineer, his mother a teacher, and money was never an issue. At just 8 years old, he joined São Paulo's academy, setting himself on the path to greatness. His time at AC Milan made him one of the most feared playmakers in the world. Yes, he later went to Real Madrid, but many fans would rather forget that chapter. But Kaka wasn't the only one who never had to worry about money before stepping onto the pitch. You may never have heard of him, but Faik Bolkaya is technically the richest footballer on the planet. How? He's the nephew of the Sultan of Brunei, whose fortune is estimated at more than $17 billion. That means he was worth more than Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi combined before even kicking a ball professionally. Bolkaya was signed to Leicester City, but never made his debut. Still, he captained Brunei's national team, showing that money doesn't stop a player from chasing passion. And from royal riches, we move to Italian elegance, where football meets refinement. Andrea Pirlo was the definition of class on the pitch, and that didn't come by accident. He was born into a wealthy family in the industrial north of Italy. His father owned a successful business. Pirlo's upbringing mirrored the style he showed every time he stepped onto the pitch. But not every wealthy kid played it cool. Some took their privilege in a very different direction. Mario Balotelli, Super Mario, was already living in a mansion before the world knew his name. Raised by the wealthy Balotelli family in northern Italy, money was never short. But if you know Balotelli, you know chaos followed him everywhere. From setting off fireworks indoors, to throwing darts at youth players, to literally paying a bar owner so he could drive his Vespa into the sea, Balotelli made headlines for everything off the pitch as much as on it. And wealth wasn't just an Italian story. France had its own golden child. Before he became a World Cup winning goalkeeper, Hugo Lloris was born into a wealthy household in the south of France. His mother was a lawyer, his father a banker. Young Hugo actually excelled at tennis and nearly pursued it professionally. That hand-eye coordination might explain his goalkeeping brilliance today. But football stole his heart, and the rest is history. Let's jump back to England, where another privileged kid became a Premier League icon. Frank Lampard, Chelsea's midfield engine, was already destined for success. His father had been a West Ham player who earned well and gave his son every opportunity. Lampard didn't need football for the money, but his hunger made him one of the Premier League's greatest midfielders and eventually Chelsea's coach. Even with wealth behind him, he became a symbol of hard work and dedication. But in the Netherlands, wealth looked a little different, more artistic than athletic. Robin van Persie, the Flying Dutchman, grew up surrounded not by athletes, but by artists. His father was a sculptor, his mother a painter, and his childhood was comfortable, secure, and creative. Ironically, the man nicknamed Robin Hood on the pitch came from anything but a poor background. He was a true artist, not just in life but in football, turning his craft into goals that fans will never forget.